Table is actually to meet the host ambassadors from this year's edition, 6 wonderful people that we have here, and also to have an exchange with ambassadors from previous sessions that are sitting here in the first line. You will meet them afterwards. Thank you very much for your time, energy, interest. We will be discussing about how is life in Barcelona, how is work life in Barcelona, how the integration process that we've lived in Barcelona has changed radically our lives. And we're going to be talking about their experience, but also things that will be also useful for other people in the city. So for the host ambassadors for this year, thank you very much for being here. I will present them in order so that you can get their names and maybe afterwards connect with them during the day or by LinkedIn, because they all have profiles on LinkedIn, so you can actually be in touch with them afterwards. So on my right hand, we have Raymond Fickert. He's the Head of Communications and Development at the Biomedical Research Park, and he's from Germany. Welcome, Raymond. Then we have Miriam Marlevet. I hope I really pronounce it. Yeah, I'm trying to. She's from Netherlands, and we were discussing about how difficult it is to pronounce different names and international names. She's the founder of Barcelona Expat Life, so she has a lot of knowledge about how is it to be an expat in our city. Then we have Lázaro Campoalegre. He's from Cuba. He's a computer engineer at IFI. Yeah. Welcome, Lázaro. I have here Marion Sanchez. She's from France, and she's an impact investment advisor. Welcome, Marion. And finally, Svetlana Kelikanova. Yeah? Velikanova, I'm sorry. She's from Ukraine, founder of the Harbor Space. So thank you very much, all of you, for your time. First of all, I want to ask you to share with us how is the, please, share a main learning of your integration process in our city. So it's going to be in order so that it's easy for our colleagues here filming the session to actually go one by one. We have to share the microphone. So Raymond, please put it close to your mouth. And share with us the main learnings of how the integration in the city has been for you over the past years, because you've been living in Barcelona for many years already.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, for me, my experience has been very positive because I experienced the transformation in a field that was not too present in Barcelona. It was life science and biomedical research that went from the year 2000 till now from 0 to wow. Yeah, and that is really an attribute that I would give to Barcelona that is very transformational, and I would encourage all people who are here to use that special energy that Barcelona has to do risky, daring projects. In our case, it was the case. We used a football field at the beach of Barcelona next to a hospital to build now a world-class research park, with 1,000 people from 1,700 people from 60 countries who attract about 120 million euro in research funding every year. They are doing excellent publications, so that would be my main learning to also at a private and professional life to dare more in the city, because the city permits it. I'm coming from Germany, where everything needs to be in order and well planned. And our case really shows that improvisation and flexibility is a good thing to promote science. So now science, the ecosystem of science is built here in Barcelona, and it will stay. It's solid. And we are very proud to constantly attract international talent.
Thank you, Raymond, for giving us a perspective also not only from your personal side, but also from the scientific community, and highlighting all the opportunities that the city gave us. Thank you. So, Miriam, your turn now, sharing the microphone. Yeah, those key learnings from your integration process.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, all. My key learnings is that relocation is changing you. In the beginning, when I arrived, you have all your own perspective, and you come in a different culture, and you are learning new things. And in the beginning, you think, "Ooh, this goes maybe a little bit different than I expect." And now, after a couple of years, I feel also that I am changing myself and I am reinventing myself, because maybe when you arrive you cannot find a job in your own field of expertise, or maybe you are a little bit shy and you really need to step out of your comfort zone to make new friends. And maybe in the beginning you hang out with everybody who invites you, but at a certain time you also realize, maybe these are not my kind of people, and you try to find other new people. And it was very funny because what you were telling, Dutch and German people are very punctual. Dutch people are also super direct. So in the beginning I was really struggling a little bit with my directness. And last week I was in the Netherlands and I was meeting my friends. And they invited me for something, but it was really not my cup of tea. So I did it very politely, in my opinion. So I arrived and they said, "Oh, Mian, you really need to be more direct because you are so fake nowadays. We really don't understand you anymore." And I was thinking, okay, how I communicate is changing because of my relocation. So Barcelona is a great city, but I also think it's also really, you are learning a lot about yourself and you are seeing things from a new perspective. And I think that is adding a lot of value. And I think most of you are probably relocated to Barcelona, and I think that's really brave and a great job, because it never stops your integration process, because in the beginning you have other experience than if you are living here for a longer period of time. So I think it's a wonderful adventure, and sometimes you need to step out of your comfort zone.
Thank you very much for explaining it so vivid, Miriam, and also for highlighting how you actually change. The city and the culture change you in a way you will never expect, and this flexibility, I love that you both are highlighting in how you become more flexible and sometimes a different person. So I'm going to introduce you Liling Qi. Thank you, Liling, for making it possible to be here with us. She's from China, and she's the president of Puente China. Liling, we're doing the questions in order so that the camera captures everyone in order, but we're going to get to you in a few minutes. So Lázaro, please share us your experience of your own integration process and how it has changed you as well.
In my case, it is good that I started first because like that super strict character that come from Germany and Dutch, I come from Cuba, so I was looking for something that was very similar to, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, better.
So I was trying to find something that is pretty similar to what we had there. Like as an Icelander, we come with a lot of dreams, like trying to find a continent, like some place where we can meet people from very different places or very different culture, or something like you are looking to the horizon there all the time. As a Cuban, you know, it's a country where the people are dreaming to share, to travel, to dream, to expand their culture or whatever. And Barcelona was like the place for that. In my particular case, it started with the Freddie Mercury and Montserrat Caballé's song, Barcelona, when I was a kid. It was like the first stone that, like, I need to go there, that is the country where I want to live, and that's the first place that I know outside of Havana, no? So I started to dream with that, and when I had the chance of coming to study in Spain, either Madrid or Barcelona, I selected this, and I was, and I think I'm very proud of that selection because Barcelona was open to that. It's a place where you can learn different language, not only Catalan. I think it is the community that is very adapted to the integration and to receive region, and I have been like sort of proud of that in every step, from the university, the neighborhood, the hospitals, like in cultural institution. Everything is very well connected. You can be who you are. You can speak the language you speak with the accent you have. And the people are very adapted and open to that. And always they are trying to show you that it is okay the way you are doing it. So just bring that to us. And that's lovely. Some of my key learnings, like, is how Barcelona was already ready for receiving people from abroad. And I think not only because we come with a character or whatever, it is because the city was ready, the people want to do that, and and yes, it is good for us.
I love that sentence that you were saying, like you can be whoever you want to be in the city and the openness of the city. Thank you very much, Lázaro, for sharing it. So, Marion, your country is not that far away, that Cuba related to Spain, but culturally speaking, maybe there are a lot of differences. So tell us about your own experience of integration, and I'll share with you the microphone.
Great, thanks. Many thanks. So, right, I come from France and even closer from Perpignan, so just across the border. But culturally, you're right, it's very different. So we moved with my family 3 years ago, like during COVID, sort of. And so, well, the integration wasn't made harder by that, but not easier either. But it was really easy to meet people. And to meet different groups of people, because we are French family, but we've lived in the US for a while, so there are different communities. And what is nice here is that you can pick, you can like live like a local with locals, you can meet up with them, but if you need some like, I don't know, coziness, you can find your group, like native or another one. It's super multicultural, and this is what I like and what we like here. And no, for us, integration was, I would say, easy. And yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Marion. So, Svetlana, coming from Ukraine, and you've been living here for a long time with a dream about creating something different and new for this particular community. So please tell us, what have you learned over the years?
Well, first of all, I studied here, and I think many people that end up in Barcelona, they studied in Barcelona at some point in their lives. Barcelona was extremely kind to me when I was 24. I received a scholarship from Pompeu Fabra, which just opened at the time. It's Graduate School of Economics, and for me, it was love from the first sight. Barcelona, it was about, something unexplainable. I felt the physical feeling of happiness for the first time in my life, after having lived in Switzerland, in Finland. Barcelona was like a sunshine suddenly, right? Sunshine in my life, lightened me up a lot, And it was always a dream to come back. I didn't know what to do at that time. I graduated as a financial engineer, and obviously the banking industry, the investment banking industry, is not an industry here that, doesn't even exist. So I had to leave the city, despite the fact that I would have loved to stay. And so it was a full circle for me. I was kind of coming back. The reason I was coming back was because of the language. I spoke already Spanish at the time. Many people speak Spanish around the world, so I thought it was a great thing to learn and to improve further. I had an apartment which I bought because, one of the first things I did was, how can I give back to the city what I received? And I thought, I'll buy a flat and pay a tax. And, that's what I did. In my banking days, I really came for one day, just bought a flat and left. Called my mother and I said, you should come and live in that flat that I have now. And she said, it's not my dream, it's your dream. Why don't you do it? Yeah. So in 2014, when the war broke out, when the first Ukrainian war started to happen, my house was bombed in Mariupol. I come from this town that doesn't exist anymore, right? And, the more I think about it, the more I appreciate, and I think the future of Barcelona should be in uniting people from all these kind of different places in the world, right? Not trying to be, not separating, to be honest, right? For me, the only painful story in Barcelona was the separation of, Catalans from Spaniards, because I'm living this through in my own culture. Russians being separated from Ukrainians, although it's clearly the same nation, So, this kind of things. But to do business here, I think, first of all, Barcelona is what you make out of it. So if you come with an intention to make it, you will make it, right? It's not hard. I think it is much easier than in many other places to do business. Why? Because it's cheaper to hire a lawyer, it's cheaper to hire an accountant, labor specialist, etc. What else? I mean, startups are flourishing, obviously. You know, I think Barcelona did such a great job. I mean, if you look at Barcelona, even versus Italy, right? How many unicorns have we got? How many people come every year to the city? Now, in terms of talent and integration of foreign talent with the local talent or with the local authorities, I think the message is clear that Barcelona wants foreigners. If there are students, even better. As I said, I'm a product of this, right? This is a very typical use case, study, and then come and stay and live here. So I think for me, opening a university here, a new university from scratch, right, specialized in technology, design, and high-tech entrepreneurship, was a great decision. And Barcelona is a brand name, so whatever you open in Barcelona, when you come to Bangkok, you know, I work now in Asia, you say Barcelona, people know Barcelona. So Barcelona helps you as a brand, right? Thanks to all the actions that the people are taking. Yeah. So I think if you want to start your own something first, I think it's a great place to do it. As I said, also because people will respect, you know, when you say you're from Barcelona.
Thank you, Svetlana, for sharing this love story that you have with the city that I think we all share. This is always a story of love behind it. And some tips that you already gave us of how easy or easier than in other places it is to start a business here, and how education is relevant and key for making that happen as well. So, Lilin, welcome. In this first round, I will ask you to please share with us one key learning from your own integration process and how you see it has shaped also your career in these years.
I want to speak Spanish because I can understand English, but for speaker, for me, it's better to speak Spanish. Yo llevo más de 30 años aquí. Yo creo que hay un punto que yo siempre traslado, de hecho viajo mucho a China, vine aquí con casi Barcelona con 18 años, de hecho toda mi carrera profesional y mi vida lo he hecho aquí, la mitad vida en Barcelona, en España, y otra la mitad vida viajando intercontinentalmente, principalmente en China, ¿no? Yo creo que aquí hay una cosa que yo mencioné hace poco, el día 20 de septiembre, hice un evento en FIDA Barcelona para promover la Barcelona y Shenzhen aquí, ¿no? Y esta ciudad es como un poco el imán de talento, de captación de talento. Es que cuando yo estoy en China, cuando explico que vengo de Barcelona, primera sensación que tú percibes, la gente dice, wow, qué suerte que estás en Barcelona. Y de hecho esto también yo siempre digo, es una gran oportunidad para Barcelona, que sí que mucha gente todavía no ha venido a Barcelona. ¿Sabes? Cuando la gente dice qué suerte está, y después también mucha gente que ha venido, la verdad, se lleva un gran recuerdo, ¿no? Que yo también aquí tengo muchas amistades con gente que viene de todo el mundo, de Estados Unidos, de Holanda, sobre todo de Singapur y de la parte de Asia, ¿no? La verdad que la gente cuando una se llega aquí suele quedarse y después traer más familia, como caso que pasó conmigo. O sea, vino primero mi madre y ahora entre todo en la familia mía y de mi marido ya somos 500 chinos que estamos aquí. O sea, esto es como... y la gente dice, oye, ¿por qué te vienes a Barcelona, no? Y es curioso, o sea, cuando llegas aquí te sientes, forma parte de Barcelona. O sea, es muy fácil de convivir, y sobre todo son gente muy abierta, y también es muy fácil de hacer negocio. Bueno, nosotros ahora estamos trabajando bastante, bueno, con instituciones como Acción o con ayuntamientos, ¿no? Y veo que están, digamos, da mucha facilidad y digamos, está muy preparado para la gente que llega de una cultura, como este caso, como China, ¿no? Que es muy diferente la manera de cómo gestionar el negocio, y aquí en cambio tiene mucho soporte. Yo creo que esto por ejemplo, hoy, ¿no? Este día tan especial como International Community Day, yo creo que es muy, muy significante. O sea, para la gente que viene de una cultura tan diferente y que digamos que está apostando y da una facilidad y esto yo creo que lo está haciendo muy bien. De hecho, yo presido la Asociación Comercio e Industria de Shenzhen en China, ¿no? Y allí muchas veces cuando voy y explico, ¿no? Y sobre todo le digo, oye, tenemos que aprender de las ciudades, como es pequeña, Barcelona, comparación dentro de las ciudades importantes de China, ten en cuenta que Shenzhen estamos hablando de 20 millones de personas, ¿vale? Y aquí estamos hablando de 1,8 millones. Pero en cambio, en media hora, yo siempre comparo, o sea, geográficamente en media hora yo puedo hacer 6 reuniones. Y tenemos una clima fantástica y sobre todo la persona. Para mí es muy importante para gente extranjera que viene con poco inglés, con poco español, con poco catalán, la gente con mucha paciencia y está dispuesta a ayudar, ¿no? Para mí, la verdad, yo siempre digo que tengo una gran suerte de estar aquí, ¿no? Y bueno, esto es un poco...
Gracias, Liling. Y creo que nos ha sacado a todos una sonrisa con tu comparación y las dimensiones en China. So thank you very much for your explanation. I will carry on in English because it was stated in English, and I'm pretty sure you have all prepared what you were saying in English, but I hope you can follow us well in English, Liling. So I'm going to jump to a final question here in the table, and I'm going to kind of switch it because you already gave us some attributes of how your career was developed in the city. I'm going to go to the question related to the sense of community. So you were saying how relevant it is to build your own community, how easy it is to make Barcelona the Barcelona you want for yourself, and how relevant it is talent in the city as well. So what else can we do to improve the sense of belonging to a multicultural community in Barcelona? Because I'm pretty sure this is something that we all care about living here in the city. And I will ask you to please be brief because we will need to give the floor to the ones in the floor, our 3 host ambassadors from previous editions as well. So Raymond, please.
Yes, I would say to
Closer to the microphone, please.
Yes. To feel more the sense of belonging. In my case, it was very easy because I'm married to a wonderful woman from Barcelona, who I met studying in the US, so I was integrated in the family, and that's made everything different. So what I see very often also in our international talent, research talent, is that the foreigners stick together. And it's not all that easy very often to get into the Catalan culture and get into a Catalan family, but that would really make a difference. So I would encourage all the people to look for Catalan contacts, friends.
Wives and husbands?
Wives and husbands, maybe. Just friends to go to the weekend home and to go to the mountains together and enjoy together all that, why we love Barcelona, all those things, the landscape, the climate, the possibilities Barcelona has.
Thank you, Raymond, for being so specific. And what's key point of the integration is you need to integrate with the people, with the Catalans and the locals, as Marion was saying. So, Miriam, your sense of on this?
Yes. I think we can also be very proud on the Catalan people because they welcome us. And imagine 1 out of 4 citizens is of foreign nationalities. There are loads of multinational companies and they have more than 50 nationalities working in their companies. And I think we all work hard to make that work because we know we are living in a world with a lot of changes, and the world is changing with the wars, and it's not always a safe place. And then I can say, as a Barcelonian by choice, I am super proud that we manage this together in all the companies where they work hard for the integration, but also in the city. And I really think that starts with the Catalan people. So I would say thank you.
Thank you very much for this message. This is like a small masterpiece of diversity and inclusion. You know, the sense of having a safest place, and we all building together this inclusive community and where we are. So thank you very much. And it is true. Thank you for for the data that you're sharing with us today. So Lázaro, what else can we do to improve this sense of belonging to this multicultural community?
Yeah, more than saying what we can do, I want to explain my particular experience. It is like, for me, the key thing that brought me to got integrated into Barcelona, I think, was the acceptance of the language. It's like, okay, you are here, you speak Spanish. Since you arrived to the airport for the first time, it's benvingut a Barcelona. Oh, it is real. Catalan is not something that's simple. It's a real language that you would be living with that the whole life. So get that advantage, learning and improve it, and also interact in the rest of the life aspect with Catalan. So I think every time someone from outside arrives to Barcelona, that's my first advice. It's like, don't be afraid, speak, understand, be patient. If they change the language because of you, let them continue in the same language. Accept that, because it's going to be the key for being successful and also the key for the integration. I think in my scenario, when I finished the university, I remember my first interview, and I said, like, you know, I'm not white or Caucasian, and then the first thing that something that we need to improve as a country is that when they see you're not white, let's change the language, and or you are Chinese or you are whatever, they change the language because it's a bit that need to be improved. Yeah. And I remember in that first interview, I said, like, the manager said, do you want the interview in English or Spanish? I said, whatever you want. Your name is Mark, right? So you can speak also Catalan. Yeah. Oh, sure, you speak Catalan, then you are already in my company. It was like sort of proud that someone from abroad. I know it is an exaggeration, but it was like that. So for me, it was key, because it built my career after that. And the fact that every time I was going to other places, so to the, I don't know, any public administration, hospital, whatever, I was like, I don't care, I want to speak in Catalan. Sometimes it was hard, but that was the way. So a key thing for integration is accepting that you are in a country that probably brings you a new opportunity for enlarge or increase your experience, your professionalism in the language matters. And for me, it's language a key factor for the integration in Barcelona.
Completely. Thank you for bringing this insight, which is also key in our community, in our city, which is language. I will give you the microphone, Marion, so that you can share with us.
Sorry, what is the question exactly?
We are talking here about integration and building a community, a multicultural community. Okay. What can you tell us about what have we been doing that it's okay, or things that we can improve in that sense?
Okay, well, I think I touched it a little bit before, so I don't want to repeat myself. Just to extend it. Barcelona is not a capital, so I have always lived in capital cities, so it's a bit different here, and I think it's more open in that sense, because you don't have these very rigid, like, institutional frameworks. It's more open, and it's easier, I would say, to mix cultures, to try things, as it's been said at the beginning, to have a more to be trying more. And this means, like, to mingle with local people, with foreign people, with your community. To me, it's pretty natural here. People are here because it's a multicultural city. Barcelona, well, it's another story because they are here, of course, and they're cities. But I think they are pretty open to it because, from what I see. And I've been lucky to work with a very local foundation. They were super, like, open, and I wouldn't say that it's the case for every, like, company, or but in general, if you look, it's easy to find multicultural companies, groups. It's easier than in other countries or in other cities, I would say.
Thank you, Marion. This is like a two-way, no? It's what you do and also what people living in the city are accepting, and the sense of openness that you were saying, and the difference between being or not a capital, which is a new element in the table. Thank you. So, Svetlana, your point of view on this question?
Well,
which I think you already covered a little bit in the previous part, but let's go deeper into this sense of community in the city.
I think for everything that people want to do, you need to have a strategy. That's the first thing. So if I were in charge of Barcelona, let's say, what would I do?
Who knows? Who knows?
I know what I would do, but you know,
I'll
give you
do?
two options, right? What do we want? Barcelona to be a city for leisure, or we want Barcelona to be a city for work, excellent, interesting, cutting-edge work, productive society, and that's a very different,
Completely.
two different objectives, you know, and depending on which one I choose, my set of actions would be completely different. So I vote for Barcelona that attracts amazing people here, amazing cutting-edge people. Productive people, very interesting people, sort of New York, but in a better place, sort of Silicon Valley, but in a better place, you know.
And with different values as well.
Different, whatever, different. I like work because I don't really work. I like what I do. I don't recommend anybody to work. If you still think you're working, leave. You know, you have one wild life, then I think you're just doing something wrong. Again, go back to your strategy, you know, write it down. So for me, I think it's an open-ended question. I would like to understand what Barcelona wants. I would like that to be communicated, you know, and then I can contribute to that goal, right? And I want to know long-term, is it going to be San Francisco in a better sense of the word, or, you know, or it's going to be, you know, just a city where people come and, you know, spend their money. They earn money somewhere else. And what will happen to the locals? For example, I care about what happens to the locals in case we choose the first strategy, we choose to become a successful Silicon Valley type of a city. Then what happens to local population? Are they going to get the necessary education and technology? Are they going to be part of this revolution? You know, do they want it? What do local people want? And that is very key. You know, do we agree on the future of Barcelona? So anyway, so for me, you know, I'm always trying to kind of think of bigger picture first.
I love this perspective, and I hope the answer can be answered. The question can be answered from someone from the Council City. But I guess this is a very interesting point. What do we want collectively from our city, and which is the strategy in the long term? Because we are kind of contributing to it.
Conflict. You will see there is a conflict between what the locals want and what we want.
Of course, yeah.
Seriously, if you just do a survey. So
of
how
course,
do we
yes.
reconcile?
The dialogue over there is already open on the type of city that we want for the future. Thank you, Svetlana. Lillian, your point of view on the city and the multicultural city. If you want, you can answer in Spanish. And then we will move to our colleagues in the floor.
A ver, yo estoy totalmente de acuerdo con las opiniones. Yo creo que vengo de una comunidad de China que es una cultura, la verdad yo siempre digo, cuando hablo y pienso en español tengo que poner la mentalidad española, porque cuando pienso en chino tengo que hablar en chino, mentalidad china, porque es muy diferente. Para la comunidad china hay una comunidad bastante potente aquí, que estamos hablando de unos 50.000 personas, y cada vez hay más empresas que vienen a instalarse y buscar y crean puestos de trabajo y está encontrando mucha oportunidad de inversión. Hay una gran dificultad hoy en día, principalmente para la comunidad china, es idioma. No olvidemos que comparación con otros países, nosotros, es caligrafía y todo, es muy diferente y sobre todo gramáticamente, ¿no? Sinceramente, yo creo que este trabajo deberíamos hacer algo más para poder ayudar a integrar la parte comunidad como China y como otras que son tan diferentes, ¿no? En cambio, hay otro punto que yo veo, siempre a veces me hago la reflexión porque, como dije, llevo 30 años aquí y presido la Asociación Comercio Industria de Shenzhen en España, y somos 96 asociados. y me estoy preocupando también. Es importante integrarse, pero no olvidemos de dónde venimos. Para mí es muy importante. Barcelona tiene que ser policultural, Barcelona tiene que ser Barcelona para todos. Es importante ayudar a la gente a integrar, pero de alguna manera yo también estoy haciendo un gran esfuerzo para la segunda y tercera generación, los niños que han nacido aquí, que no se olvide de dónde viene. Para mí esto es una gran fortaleza de ellos, que puede ser futuro embajador o puente que establece digamos, colaboración intelectual, de oportunidad de negocio o de conocimiento, no de cercanía, ¿no? Ten en cuenta que hoy en día somos gente de mundo. Yo estoy totalmente de acuerdo, tenemos que respetar la cultura aquí y esto, pero también es muy enriquecedor que la gente que te viene de una cultura tan diferente, de alguna manera tenemos que saber convivir y que conserva su parte. Yo creo que esto es de hecho, yo estoy haciendo este trabajo con mi comunidad china porque veo, por una parte hay gente que totalmente ha entregado, incluso no sabe ni expresar bien chino, ni sabe leer chino, y me preocupa bastante, ¿vale? Y por otra parte, se ha cerrado. O sea, ¿de qué manera crear un buen ambiente que estemos todos muy felices y convivimos juntos? Yo creo que esto es muy importante.
This is really key. Thank you, Liling, because that's the whole magic about diversity and inclusion is that we have a diverse city because we have different nationalities and perspectives of how we want to approach the city as well. It is so diverse that the challenge here is the inclusion and the integration. And this is not something that a person has to do it on itself. It has to be a consensus on how we want it to approach as a city. So thank you very much all for your perspective inputs. It was a very diverse answer to the same question, so thank you for your points of view. I will now please pass the microphones, the hand microphones, to the three people that we have here in front. And I will start with Nima Nelly. ¿Podemos pasarles un micrófono, por favor? Gracias. So, Nima, she is EMEA Venture Builder, and she's from the Democratic Republic of Congo. And she is a host ambassador of 2022. So Nima, can you please stand? Yes, thank you. And look to the camera because it's being recorded. And please share with us in 2 minutes. So I will please ask you all three to try to be brief. Yes. Jean-Philippe was already claiming for his 1 minute extra. So the integration process, and she will explain also how to build and grow a tech-based startup in Barcelona, one of the ones that Svetlana was mentioning. So welcome and thank you very much for being here with us.
Hello, everybody. I came in Barcelona in 2017.
I don't think it's on. It's on? Closer, maybe? Yeah.
It works.
So closer.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, energy in the room.
Yeah, so I came in Barcelona in 2017 to study my second master degree at University of Barcelona after finishing the first one in Germany. So first when I came here, I found like everyone was a founder of a startup. So I was like, what does this? And then I was like, let me try these entrepreneurship things and see how it works. And I remember during my validation process, you know when you have an idea, you have an ideation, you have to validate in the market to see the willingness of people to buy your service. My first customer was a Catalan. I was like, oh my gosh. So it was a click for me. And this is how, when I created my company, which is a venture builder, and what we do, we are specializing to build artificial intelligence solutions for company. We are like technology provider. So I think that helps me into growth was to incorporate myself in local professional networks. For sure, at the beginning it wasn't easy, I want to be honest. Because like having new ways of doing things, you know, I mean, it's a little bit tough. So, and for some clubs, they were really close. You need some people to recommend you. But I knew that time that it was my duty to find people who were going to recommend me in order to enter in those clubs. And while being in these clubs, make sure I'm visibilizing myself inside the club. I'm into the AI and tech, so what I could do, like doing like workshop and things like that. The second one was like, it has been 1.5 years that I'm speaking Catalan. I mean, I cannot count the doors that this language has opened to me. You know, we international usually neglect or we have our own bubble, but I would tell you, go out of this zone. There are a lot of good things, good opportunities out of there. So things that helped me was first the local community, second Catalan. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, yeah.
Does it work, yeah?
It works. Yeah. Jean-Philippe Schall, he's professor and intercultural manager. He's from Belgium, and he was a host ambassador in 2019. So before the world changed.
Yeah, that's before the pandemic. Okay, I'm Jean-Philippe. In the last 25 years, I've been a trainer, consultant, teacher in international management. It means telling people what they should do to recognize, understand, and managing better the cultural differences in business at the workplace. Why this? Why do I do this? I have to tell you a bit of my personal life before. I was born in Belgium, I studied in Belgium. My first job was in Paris, in a joint venture of a Belgian-German company. It means dealing with people from other countries from the beginning. But 25 years ago, there was nothing about cross-cultural management. Okay? And we learned by doing mistakes. Okay? Then, after 8 years in Paris, I took a break. I went by backpack to Latin America, 6 months, traveling across 8 countries, master cultural differences. And I went back to Belgium, and I was hired as a French in supermarket to be a branch manager. In my country, Belgium, easy. My country, my language, easy. After 3 years, the company decided to offer me an expected assignment to Barcelona, Spain. I was excited. It was my dream. I always wanted to live in Barcelona. The good weather, better than Belgium, the food, tapas, soccer, football, Barca. I was very excited. And what happened to me, initially, like many expatriates, the honeymoon period, like a tourist, discovering new things, exciting. I came with my pink glasses. Okay? But then after a few months, not so easy. Reality, working with people from Spain, not doing things the same way I used to do. Going from Belgium, working in kind of German way. Okay? And then after a few months, I didn't feel comfortable in Spain. Didn't feel fine. It was a kind of culture shock. And after a bit more than 1 year, I quit the company, I left the country and back to Belgium. It's a failure. I would like to tell you today, it's nice to live in the country, they seem to be happy, it was easy for most of them. For me, it was not easy. You can fail expatriate in the culture. You can be effective in your country, culture, but not in another one, for the lack of culture and understanding. So I went back to Belgium and I started to look for literature, books about cultural differences. And I discovered cross-cultural management. There were some things to learn about cultural differences. And I decided from now I would be a teacher, consultant in this. And I went back to Barcelona because I liked the place, liked the city. Okay? I was not just prepared initially to work here. And I started to convince business schools, universities, companies to help people in this. Okay? What I've learned in the last 25 years teaching these students from 100 different countries, not just to Spanish people, from other countries, that first I discovered there's so many ways of doing things in the world. My Belgian way, the Ukrainian way, Chinese way, French way, many ways. And each way of doing things is something positive. But also negatives when taken too far. Okay? Why not try to take the best from different ways? Kind of yin and yang philosophy, Taoism, the middle ground. Okay? That's the important thing. Okay? Looking at the positive and negative in each. Okay? That's what I try to do, and I try to explain to my students. But, and I like what you said, without losing your soul. I'm in Spain, I'm still a Belgian. And I will always be a Belgian after 8 years in Paris and 25 years here. I'm not a Spaniard, I will never be. But with my knowledge about cultural differences, I can understand the local culture, can adapt, I can be effective now in Spain, in Catalonia, and also be a happy man in Barcelona. But not losing my soul. Okay? That's what I'd like to say. And maybe I failed 25 years ago because at that time, Barcelona was not such an open city. I arrived here 2 years after the Olympic Games. It was not the same city. There were not exotic restaurants in Barcelona. I had to find a Thai restaurant, a Japanese restaurant, very hard. No club, no association, no such events 25 years ago. It's another city now. And I like the city that Barcelona is now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jean-Philippe, for your enthusiasm and for this different point of what the city gave you and what the relationship that you had with the city so many years ago. Of course, everything in life is evolution, and we are seeing a different environment today. So Adman, welcome Adman Mushin. Yeah, did I pronounce it well?
That's okay, that's okay.
He's the founder of DG Sport Group. He's from Morocco, and he was the host ambassador of 2021. So please share with us your experience of this integration process.
I will do. Thank you very much for the presentation, for having me this year too. So just a quick picture for my experience. I spent 15 years in multinational as operation director in Dell, covering EMEA, and I decided one day with my wife and my kids, we said, look, we need to change our life. We need to live for our passion. I'm passionate by sports. I played football in France. My wife played volleyball in national team. And we said, where we can have life, when we can live by our passion, for our passion, and provide to our kids and our entire family an atmosphere positive when they can be who they want to be. So we decided for Barcelona, not for the good food, not for the Barca team because I'm a social member 20 years ago, even from Morocco, but for these aspects of being free, having an entire city for all of us, and all of us in kind of profile and person to be, how I can say that, to have the dream very clear and to have the perspective of the future very clear from the personal and professional point of view. How we did that? So when we came here, I stopped my experience from an international perspective, and we decided to go for sports. Why? Because it's passion. So I decided, look, I'm in Spain, I'm in Barcelona. Barcelona is providing me with all the things that I need to develop my business. When I say all the needs, the environment, sports environment, we have fantastic entities here that you should look for, like Barcelona Activa. They are supporting you to build your company. They are giving you time. They are giving you face-to-face people that can help you, like lawyers, like accountants. And then I went in, I said, look, I want to bring something new to Barcelona. I'm here, I'm living here, and I want to be just benefiting from the atmosphere. I want to contribute to something new. So they helped me to start thinking about what could be done with my experience, past experience, but also with something challenging. So I decided to launch a French concept, which is DG Sports. It's a tool that is used to improve the cognitive abilities of people, use it for in some hospitals to practice and to improve the motricity of the kids, of the aged people, or of the people who had some accidents. But we took it and we decided to transform it into something available to all people in any kind of events, sports events, team building, companies, schools, etc. So to get back now to the challenges from the first days, I want to get back to Raymond and Miriam when they said that locals are helping us, locals are very welcome. So that's a new discovery for me. So don't be afraid if you, from your first years, you found some challenges. When I was here the first year, I was saying, my God, these are the locals. They are not saying hello in my building. They are not giving us tips about the city. They are not supporting me. And in my past interviews as host ambassadors a few years ago, I said, I found the Catalans like oysters. Very complicated to open. And once you open, fantastic. You enjoy, and you enjoy the relationship. And that's true, because after my 2 years of effort, because I need to do the efforts. I'm coming from outside. And I'm coming from Casablanca, Morocco. So we have a long history between Morocco and Spain. So sometimes the bias are, okay, who is this guy coming from Casablanca, another Moroccan? We have tons here. So we need to accept that. We need to be open. We need to explain our story of our life, our kids, our family. And we need to also talk about what we are looking from Barcelona. I'm not here for food and football. I'm here to contribute to something new and to learn and to offer to my family a sense of social integration. How I did that, of course, my kids were in a Spanish school in Casablanca, Morocco, to prepare them 2-3 years before. So that's helped a lot to get the kids very comfortable in the city. And then to jump to the business point of view, we jumped from Catalan to the business support. So once I'm not speaking Catalan, it's in my plan. But I started and I understood the customer challenges I had when I was presenting my concept in Spanish. So I was not speaking Spanish too. I learned Spanish here and in Casablanca a few years before coming here. But they're accepting you. They just need to have more time to understand what you are doing here, to understand what's your added value to Barcelona and to the city and to the social society. So I decided to launch the company, speak Spanish, learn Spanish, present to the Spanish people, Catalan people with Spanish, and even in Spain. And I was successful. So I'm not telling you that they are just refusing people who are speaking Spanish. They are open. Maybe I will have more customers and more open markets if I speak Catalan, for sure. That's why it's in my plan. But if you are here from your first years, don't be afraid. You can go step by step. First of the things, to be open to everyone, not to fall in the trap of being in an international community, close like French, Spanish, English, but open to any community available, and include always locals. Okay? Maybe I need to stop here.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
I have many things to say.
I was about to say it.
Sorry.
No. Please keep it for the people. Otman, thank you very much for the passion, and thank you very much for sharing all the opportunities, but also the challenges. I think we all shared some challenges from a personal point of view, from different cultures. Of course, the challenge is different. One might be language, the other one might be the bias that we have towards different communities, and it is there. The biases, we all have them, and we have to work on them. So thank you very much for sharing that integration process, which is different from what we've heard already. So I think we have 1 minute. If someone wants to ask a question to whoever you want in the table, the council city is not here, so if you have questions for the mayor or the council city, we might share them with them afterwards.
Well, hello, my name is Amilcar Vargas, and I supposed to be here earlier, but I was in another meeting. I was ambassador last year, and I just wanted to share everybody has this postcard, isn't it? I guess they gave you this at the entrance, and in 30 seconds, this is what I really using for sending to my mom. He says, "Hey mom, 11 years ago I lived in this wonderful city that has allowed me to be who I am and to grow. The challenges has not been few, but they were worth it. Last year I was ambassador of this city, and I'm very happy and proud. And even if we are far, she's in Mexico, I'm from, I want to say you thank you for giving me the life 40 years ago. Which this reminds me that wherever we are, we have to remember where we come from, as you mentioned. And of course there will be challenges. The language is one of them. The example of the oyster is outstanding. I agree. But once you have different oysters to open, you know how to do it. So thank you so much and congratulations.
I love that final point. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and thank you all for being this ambassadors of this amazing city that's been hosting all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, Raymond, Miriam, Lázaro, Marion, Svetlana, and Lilian. And thank you, all of you as well. I think we must stay here for a family picture, and then you can move on to the next round table or go and have a look to the stands. Thank you all. Thank you. Gracias.